Hey guys, the thumbnail on this one is amazing because of the comment that Meister Eckhart is making, which is, I love my Trapper Keeper. It looks like he is holding a Trapper Keeper in the photo on the thumbnail. And if you did not come of age in the 80s, then you don't understand what I'm talking about. It's an amazing piece of technology that Mead came out with called the Trapper Keeper that had a pocket for absolutely everything. And if you were in elementary school during that time, you had to have one. Hey, welcome to the Wisdom of the Masters. I am Sean Webb. Today's wisdom comes from Meister Eckhart, whom Eckhart Tolle borrows his name from, by the way, who said this: the more deeply we are our true selves, the less self that's in us. Wow. Now, this points to the deepest truth of our personal existence, in that there's this self within our mind, right? And that's our false self. It's the self that our brain generates as a result of its charter of being the organ of survival. Our brain is our organ of survival. It helps us to survive from one day into the next. And it has a limbic system in the back of it that search for threats around us. And this is how we survive. We identify threats and we get away from those threats, right? And so our limbic system is always looking through our senses, always looking through our thoughts, always looking through everything that we see, hear, experience in the world, and it's looking for potential threats. But a second question must be asked. A threat to what? What is, if I'm a logical device like the human brain, what is it that I need to protect? I need to understand, if there's a leafcutter ant over there on the wall, do I have leaves? Will that leafcutter ant be a threat to me? That chipmunk over there, is he big enough to cause death? Well, maybe not, but a bear certainly is, right? So we need to understand the definition of our sense of self in our brain to be able to identify what is a threat and what's not a threat, so that we can expend our energy intelligently and only defend against the threats that are actually threats. And so this thing called the self is created within our mind that then is the answer to what must be protected. Well, that's a false sense of our reality. It's a false sense of ourself that is simply created by our brain, when the reality is there is a deeper meaning, a deeper truth of self within us that when you discover it, releases you from all of the pain and suffering and all of the negativity that your brain will create for you if you let it. And so what Meister Eckhart is talking about is, when you understand the deeper truths of self, the less self that is in us, that's exactly what he's talking about. The self of the mind, the less self of the mind is in us, the less that it influences us, the less that it controls us, the less that it creates havoc for our existence. And so that's exactly what Meister Eckhart is talking about. In understanding that deeper truth, he's talking about seeking enlightenment, understanding your deeper existence beyond the cursory mind existence that is created for you as a sense of self, as a survival mechanism because your brain requires it. That's exactly what Meister Eckhart is talking about here. And you find that deeper self through the ancient disciplines such as meditation or contemplative prayer, or a number of the things that religion has put forth to help us find the way into that deeper truth of existence. And of course, Meister Eckhart was a priest in the Christian religion and was one of those first enlightened dudes that the church really didn't know what to do with. But he was so in touch with his deeper self, his truer self, it seemed that he could speak naturally of the wisdom of Jesus in that religion, although there are multiple religions that teach the same thing. He was able to have a mystical understanding of what Jesus was talking about and the true message of Jesus and the true meaning that God wanted us to know, etc. That's exactly what he's talking about, is the more that you discover that, the less self up here in your head is in you. I hope this message finds you well. Talk to you guys soon.